Hi everyone, welcome for today's painting. This one was a commission for Christmas and I'm happy that I can show you the making of this piece and this really pretty painting after all. The painting is done on a 50 by 70 centimeter canvas, and as you can see I have already toned the surface in a burnt umber light version so that it is not the pure white of the canvas. This most of times helps me judging the values better than just painting on a completely white surface, because having a white surface you normally tend to paint lighter than you actually need to. So making your darks darker is actually easy on a toned down surface. But whether you work on a complete white canvas or a toned canvas or tone it down yourself, it's completely up for you and your personal preference. So this version is not going to be a completely voice-over painting demonstration. If you would like to dive deeper into my techniques and my painting, drawing, sketching skills, there are some playlists where you can follow along. And of course, if you wish so, just leave me down in the comment section that you wish more of these realism portrait paintings like tutorials, where I voice over the entire thing telling you what I do along the process and which steps I take in between. Basically, this is just a layered process, so I firstly add a first layer of paint onto my surface, making the design and the shape of the face, but really do not care about so much detailing after all. More important is that you have the overall shape and the structure of the face, so the lights and the darks, where the lights and the darks belong, and if possible as light and as dark as they should be. As this is a first layer only, more layers are going to be applied after this, and corrections are being done on the way, as you can see when you watch the video. As a comparison for those who are pretty new to oil painting or just curious, see this process more like applying makeup. Not that I'm an expert on applying makeup at all, but it is more like changing the values step by step. So if you feel this area needs to be darker, just add a little bit more of the dark color and go over there, and same with the lighter colors. If it was not working to your favor, then just let it dry and go over the area again and again and again, because applying more and more color into the red face will cause your colors to smudge and to intermix, and it will get even harder to get the result that you're looking for. You will see brush strokes, you will not get the color tone that you intended to get. So letting things dry in between is a pretty easy and convenient thing to do. And as you paint in really thin layers, they should dry rather quickly. So perhaps the next day or so if you haven't used any medium inside your paints. If you work in acrylics, of course, this technique can be applied the very same. But acrylic paints normally are not as opaque as oil paints are, so you might not be able to get the same effects with acrylics, or you might need more layers of paint to get the effect that you would like. Of course, if you like working in both mediums, you can also start off making your base layer with the acrylics and have your design already set, which is great because it dries way quicker than the oil paints. And then you can step by step add the oil paints to your acrylic base layer and just refine your entire painting. But never vice versa, so never start with oils and continue on with acrylics. This will not be archival and will not hold. In worst case, this will flake off, or it will flake off over time. So bottom line, in my painting technique that you can see here and follow me along, this is very thin layers of paint applied to the surface, letting it dry in between and adding more and more layers there. When I was about halfway through, I started adding some texture or structure paste onto my canvas. This is for the final design structure that I wanted to achieve here, and when it is done, the background is toned darker and some gold is being layered over the structure and texture that I create here. This gives it this somewhat royal and antique look that I have done in a couple of portrait paintings, and it works really great when it comes to a portrait, and it will just give it this extra kick. But it will only work in a more or less monochromatic kind of painting, so like these brown tones here or black and white toned. But be aware that gold belongs to the warmer colors and it works better with this brownish colors than it does with the black and white color palette. So if you go for black and white, I personally would rather go for a silver cover over the structure to give it this same color scheme look. instead of a gold. But if you are into gold and it fits to the entire portrait design, just go for it and test it out. If you like, you can also make it two colors, so like adding gold first and then adding some glazes of silver over it. This might look cool as well and gives it more of a metallic feeling. So this was enough of storytelling now for this piece. I let you watch the entire thing to the completion, and of course I would be happy to get some comments and thumbs up if you liked watching this. Again, I have linked my realism playlists here into this video as a card, and you will also find them in the end card of the video. So if you are more into this kind of art that I'm doing, just let me know and I will be happy to show you more of that. And for those of you who would like to follow along my technique even more in detail without any voiceover, so just watching and hearing some music, I'm going to upload this painting in a 1.5 hour long stream, I'd say, to another playlist. So the playlist where all my really long videos are into, and you can just watch me paint this in a much slower version if you like so. So thanks for your time, thanks for keeping watching and see you in my next videos. Have a great day. Bye bye.